Recently, my parents came to China in the end of last year, and they said to me, you look much more like a Chinese person than a Brazilian person because you acquired a way of communicating, the tone and the way you speak, your hands, your body, your head, all change it. And I think this is part of the process of truly understanding. My name is Victoria. I am living in Shanghai since 2019. I am a professor, I'm a lecturer at Shanghai International Studies University, where I teach Brazilian history, Brazilian culture, Brazilian studies in general. Olá! Semestre e também na aula de hoje a gente vai começar a falar pouco.
Victoria came to China in 2017 for the first time, participating in a summer program designated for BRICS countries at Fudan University. When she returned to Brazil, she was certain she would continue studying China and eventually return to Shanghai again.
I think in the beginning when I came to China, I used my body language as a Brazilian. And it was so odd because most people will look at me like, what is that? Like, is she saying yes? Is she saying no? Even not only the nod, but like how you make this short sounds to say yes or no in China is so completely different. So usually like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, with 2 hands, right? And in China, we just use 1. So one thing I acquired is I never did 6 like that anymore. I just do like that.
就是真的可以玩到一起，然后听音乐听到一起，然后吃美食吃到一起的老师。就是感觉 Vidalia 就属于我对巴西人一直以来的一个幻想，就是那种热情洋溢、平易近人又热情好客的巴西人。就是我还是蛮喜欢听音乐的。然后有一次 Vidalia 就邀请我们去参加一个巴西领馆举办的一个 Bossa Nova 的小型的音乐会，好像是为了纪念那个 Bossa Nova 之父 João Gilberto 举办的。当时有个女歌手，她还有一个像是贝壳风铃一样的东西，她摇起来就是像在沙滩上一样。然后我当时就觉得，原来巴西的音乐文化也这么有魅力。
And it is really interesting for me when she talked about Brazilian sinology. She shared with us that actually Chinese culture had very early influence in Brazil, dated back to the colonial and imperial times in Brazil. And products such as the blue and white porcelain, Chinese porcelain, could be found and influencing in Brazilian art and in Brazilian market. Also, there were tea plantation in Brazilian botanical gardens, which was very interesting for me. I think that the contact between the two cultures had started earlier than I had expected.
I think I first got interested by tea culture before I came to China. Because when I was a teenager, my dad came a lot of times to China for a business trip. So he would bring some tea or he would receive tea as a gift and he will bring back home to drink it. And then when I came to China, when we met and I found out he was from Yixing, so we already got more closer to the traditional way maybe. Because Yixing is known as the ceramics capital.
也有很多人他会直接用茶壶去喝茶。
Fueled by her love for tea culture, Victoria crafted a short video highlighting her tea preferences that won an award from Jing'an District.
来到中国以后，我更是被中国的茶文化深深吸引。
And when she occasionally longs for the taste of the tea she grew up with, Shanghai also provides opportunities.
So matcha is considered black tea, which could be considered Brazilian, but I think is very present in the south of Brazil, in Argentina, in Uruguay. So it's a very, very strong, and the color is very, very dark. So it's similar, I think, to very strong black tea in China, but it's completely different. And basically, I think nowadays I much more drink tea than coffee. As a Brazilian, it's very odd, but I think it's more healthy. And it's not only the drinking itself, it's like the time you're spending together drinking is very good.
I use some social app to meet her. Then we start to have dates. I think this marriage become very smooth.
Yeah, it became very natural. Even though we married in 2021, we're just able to do a small ceremony now in December. So it was a very meaningful time for us. Like my dad come to China many times, so it was not his first time in Shanghai. But for my mom, it was her first time.
And at the same time, the life in Shanghai, we call it a very, very fantastic for her dad because her dad is an engineer. He likes to explore different things. He told me that the vegetables in China is so good, has so many different types. It's very different from the vegetables in Brazil.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
It's like even we do not how to translate it because not only it's different, it's like it's don't exist. So
yes, that is very interesting. Is like in Jiangsu and Zhejiang provinces, and we have some water plants. In Chinese, we call it maybe 菱角, 马蹄. But we could not find it in. We could not find it the very specific words in
chestnut,
Portuguese.
yes.
We can only call all of them water chestnut. I think it's truly very good.
So it was very interesting to see also the older generation making this effort for making a cultural bridge, not only for our family communication, but I think it's very meaningful to see that makes it like intercultural families. They have sometimes some challenges like geographical challenges, communication challenges, but at the same time, it's so nice and it's so like the experience is so deep. It's very touching.
There are now around 2,000 Brazilians living in East China. In 2023, Victoria became the president of the Brazilian Citizens Council, focusing on Shanghai, Zhejiang, Jiangsu, Anhui and Shandong.
I think nowadays the number of Brazilian people in Shanghai is increasing again, especially students, especially people doing business here. This year we have a big year, and that means that we are going to also do a lot of things to try not only to integrate the Brazilian community itself, but to try to integrate our community with the local community. Life is in general very good for foreigners in China, and I think Brazilian people do appreciate. So I see that in our community have people that live here for more than 20 years, and they don't consider coming back to Brazil because they like the life that they developed here in China, but specifically in Shanghai.